It's not that often we have return guests, but some people you cannot avoid. If Martin Casas could come in once a week,
well, maybe
we
if we use wasp spray, Ron.
Martin, the last time we talked to you, you were just starting up the STL Swap Meet at Lemp.
Yep.
And now you've moved it to Cherokee.
Yes.
And you also started the marketplace down on the riverfront.
Yeah, what is it? What's the difference? What's the marketplace?
So, the great thing about, we're now on the riverfront at the Gateway Arch. And so it's the riverfront marketplace. It's about, 20 to 45 different vendors that we have down there. And we started off trying to be more like St. Louis centric because the Arch gets 6,000 to 7,000 visitors a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. So we wanted to have a lot of St. Louis centric items that people could go down there.
When is it? Is it every weekend?
No, it's the third weekend of every month.
Okay.
So, and we did the third weekend of every month because we wanted to see how it would go. And I think that it's becoming so popular, we may try to do it every week down there for the sole purpose that something needs to be on the riverfront.
That's
when you go to other major cities, especially on the Mississippi, you go to Memphis, you go to New Orleans, there's something down on the riverfront that people enjoy.
Definitely. Our riverfront is just, I don't know what, it's an afterthought.
Completely
and
underutilized.
It really needs to be.
No, it's all changed.
It is.
The landscaping is almost finished.
Well, hold on a second. Where do you park?
That's what I was going to ask. Really?
Because when you go to this thing, which I'm wanting to do, obviously, and I'm thinking, where am I going to park?
So there's two places. One is you can actually still park on the Mississippi River, like on the cobblestone,
Yes.
and you get out of your car and you can drop your keys in the Mississippi, right? It's right there. You could do that. There's also parking on the landing a couple blocks away, and you got to walk in. There really is no good way to go, but the point is when you go down there is that you're down there to see the whole thing, and so you got to walk through, and it's an experience, and it's a daytime. It's a day-long kind of event, or it could be really, because there's so much stuff down there to look at. But what you'll notice at the swap meet though is that before we get there, it's just a vacant, empty pad of concrete that's been redone. You got the riverboats over here. You got some music. You got a couple of guys dancing. Doing some kind of
Spray
weird.
painters.
Those kind of weird are always there.
Yeah, some kind of weird stuff. But it's great though that now we have something down there that people can spend more time. And now instead of just walking one loop down,
social.
No, but
exactly.
Martin, I want to thank you for just bringing this aspect at all to St. Louis. The swap meet we so need.
Thank you.
And also to put it with Cherokee, who's been, trying to make it happen for so long and has wonderful stuff already, but for some reason, it needs a thing to bring people down there.
Yeah, these street fairs do a lot for vibrancy. They do a lot for just bringing people down there, makes it a special event. It adds unique character, adds some good noise to the community.
When is the one in
good
Cherokee?
noise.
Yeah, good noise.
Yeah. The one in Cherokee, is that every weekend or how?
No, it's the first and last Sundays of every month.
Oh,
and that's kind of another thing too, is that we're trying to figure out what is the good medium for all this stuff. I mean, we're getting phone calls to do swap meets at the landing, from Busch Stadium to Washington Avenue, in Forest Park Southeast and kind of all over the city. So we're trying to figure out what is the best model to make all this stuff work, and how do we get have a good number of vendors every time. So wherever we're at, there's a good experience for people.
Right.
At one point, you were talking about doing one in Wellston. Whatever happened to that? Is that going to happen?
Well, we're still waiting for the city to rebuild that building. So
I thought he was going to say rebuild that city.
No,
when Wellston rebuilds, we'll show up.
Yeah, it's a historical. It's on the historical registry. It should be protected. It was supposed to be done in March, but it is now August, and it clearly hasn't been.
But it's still in the plans. That's
good. We'll see. I mean, I think that one of the goals of the Northside Wellston Market was that a lot of people think that the black community doesn't have the spending capital to support small businesses. But we also know that it's expensive to kind of get a business started. You got to rehab a building, and you got to bring the business, you got to insurance. But what our outdoor markets do is they provide a low-cost entry point to get a business off the ground, and also to provide a commercial district that's scalable and it's movable. And if we get popular enough where we take our 25 vendors that are under the Wellston train loop shed and we start putting them up and down MLK in front of boarded up buildings, it's going to draw more attention. More people are going to be interested
Martin,
into it.
this is what's fascinating about you.
Yeah?
You took a social-political approach to this, not just a commerce approach.
Yeah.
And of course, they
That's
do blend.
what is so wonderful about it. I lived in San Diego, and after 3 weeks of doing all the tourist stuff, which is great, then there's nothing to do there except the swap meet.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
which is fabulous, except they charge to get in, which is horrible.
Yeah, that's weird.
And so you don't charge to get in.
No.
Wait,
but
he's an Orange County boy,
what do you do as far as,
Yeah.
so
But he knows.
how
Yeah.
much is it for people to get in for a booth?
On the Cherokee, it's only $40 to get a 10x10 booth, and you're there for the whole day. On the Arch grounds, we just changed our pricing from $150 to $80 for the weekend.
Wow.
And so what we're doing now is, as we're kind of taking a step back and trying to figure out what works and what we need to do to have that great critical mass of vendors to get the right amount of shoppers we want, and also make sure everyone has sales so they profit, is we're going to just do standard pricing across the board and say, it's going to be a $40 a day fee anywhere we're at, anywhere in the city. And that's kind of what our plans are for year 3.
Now, that's to set up a booth. To show up, to go there is free.
Totally free.
Free.
Yeah, totally
Okay.
free.
All right.
And what we're there is, as we're trying to figure out how to make sure this thing floats and it's profitable and everyone can go home at the end of the day,
Right.
mainly me, make sure they can start paying for all of my hours, is, it's trying to figure out what is that proper modeling. And I think a lot of the reasons why they charge entry fees in California or New York is that they've got enough people coming in there to make some money off that, and they can offset those costs for the vendors and kind of keep the fares low. So next year, we're going to be converting to a not-for-profit status, so we can raise money, and I also have more of an educational component to what the swap meet does.
But I mean, you really have to keep the vendors happy because they won't come back if they're not selling anything.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, and we're having some of those problems this year because I think our scheduling's kind of wonky, and some people, the audience is confused about when the thing happens. So what we really want to do is I want to have this thing every weekend.
Yeah.
Have it be a permanent
then
location.
you don't have to
Right.
worry about, God, it was the third, whatever.
And if you're somebody who has some extra product you want to go sell, you have a space to do it. And one of the things we're also noticing too, and this is how it relates to our year 3, is that our big goal is that we want to be a place where not only can small businesses start up and sell their products, but also we want to start teaching people how to sell their products.
Oh, that's great.
One of the things that we're noticing that there's this big deficiency in the incubator community here in St. Louis, that we've got a lot of great tech, bio, education incubators. They do a good job of getting your business started. But what we're noticing is that a lot of the vendors we see at our swap meets and other markets, what do they do when they're sitting there at their table? They're on their phone.
Yeah.
Their customers are going by them.
Yes.
They're not engaged with them. They put their products out and they think the products sell themselves.
Yeah.
But
Go to Greece.
Yeah.
See how-
Yeah, right, yeah.
watch
Or the
those
Middle
people
East.
there. Amazing.
and we have a vendor called the Flingo Guys, which sell these little plastic contemporary yard flamingos. They're weird as hell looking. They're charged $35 a piece. Yeah, exactly, $35 a piece. And the guy shouldn't be selling any of them because they're just weird. But I love his name's John Mosier. I love the guy. He's a good guy. But they're such a dynamic sales team that they get out there. They have this whole story about their products. They engage their customers. They pull them
Story is
in.
everything. Yeah.
And and so we have a lot of folks that just don't know how to sell, and I think a large part of that is a problem that we have in a lot of small manufacturers.
The marketplace then on the riverfront goes through October,
So 2 more months.
and then the swap meet goes through November, right?
We were actually going to end it early this year in end of October. Yeah.
Okay, and it's just a weather thing, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, then you do have a chance to still get down there. So when is the next one? People
the
will
next
be
one-
confused.
next
Where
one we
can
have-
they go to see where the next one is?
Sure.
Maybe that's
So
easier.
actually, the next one they can go to is Q in the Lou. We're going to be setting up about 20 vendors at Q in the Lou. And then the Riverfront Marketplace takes place, weekend after next? That's October 17th, 16th, 17th and 18th, I
Okay,
think.
all right.
Where is Q in the
Well,
Loop?
the weekend after that? No, that's September still. September. 17th.
September.
That's
Good
okay.
Lord.
And you're right. It's Saturday the 17th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Q in the Lou is the Midwest's largest barbecue festival that happens in downtown St. Louis.
I was
Yeah.
thinking like queue up people. I just didn't. I
No,
was
no,
thinking
no,
of sales of items,
Yeah,
not food.
they asked
Yeah.
us to set up some vendors down there, and so we called some of our guys and
that's
saw
great.
there was interest,
Good.
and they want to have us down
But
there.
is there a website, or would you prefer a Facebook page?
You can go to stlswapmeet.com. That'll
Okay.
take you to the website, Twitter, Instagram, all that
Great.
stuff.
Okay, to
Get
keep it
down
up.
there.
Well, Martin, it's really good to see you again.
Yeah,
So
you're
many
the
things I wanted to get
man.
into, but
You know what? It was a time when somebody brought me some stuff from China, and I was like, this person carried something that I wanted all the way from China. If we would just make shopping the way to make world peace through
You're right.
shopping.
Totally. I'm all for that, yeah.
That's for For sure. Well, thank you, Martin, and thank you to Nighthawk Security making our segment possible today through their generosity. They're locally owned and locally monitored here in St. Louis since 1974. Home and business security for the St. Louis metro area for over 40 years. Call Joe at 846-4600.